Welcome to Instant Trivia, episode 1817. Ready? Let's go. Which wild ox roams the plains of North America? American bison. In the film Day of the Jackal, which character was played by Edward Fox? The Jackal. Which Alan Parker film centers on the FBI investigation of racially motivated murders of civil rights activists in the American South? Mississippi Burning. In which forest does the river Danube originate? Black Forest. What is the medical term for the common cold? Acute viral nasopharyngitis. In the comic strip Blondie, what is the name of Dagwood Bumstead's pet dog? Daisy. Where is Area 51 commonly believed to be located? Groom Lake, Nevada. Which two filmmakers co-directed the 1982 fantasy film The Dark Crystal? Jim Henson and Frank Oz. What disease caused by a diet of polished rice has been common in parts of Asia, Africa, and the Americas? Bitterbury. Which 1977 single by Debbie Boone was named Billboard's biggest hit of the 1970s? You Light Up My Life. In the 400-year Gregorian calendar cycle, how many times does January 1st fall on a Sunday? 58. Which nickname, taken from one of his signature songs, is country star Merle Haggard famously known by? Okie from Muskogee. What is the more common name for serigraphy? Screen printing. In which country is the city of Thunder Bay located? Canada. What instrument is used to measure wind speed? Anemometer. What is Australia's longest river system? Murray-Darling Basin. What is the smallest continent by land area on Earth? Australia. In which Agatha Christie novel does Hercule Poirot meet his demise? Curtain. In which branch of science are the terms monocotyledon and dicotyledon used? Botany. A loofah comes from what type of living organism? Plant. Before becoming an industrialist and inventor, what trade did Richard Arkwright practice? Barber and wig maker. What common item is classified into types called limerick, round bend, Aberdeen, and octopus? Fishing hooks. Which ocean does the Zambezi River empty into? Indian Ocean. How many tournaments make up golf's Grand Slam? 4. Who was the last astronaut to fly a crewed spacecraft solo? Ronald E. Ron Evans. In the musical Singin' in the Rain, What interrupts Gene Kelly's character and causes him to abruptly stop his famous rain-soaked dance? A policeman arrives and orders him to stop. Which iconic Italian actress famously said, "Sex appeal is 50% what you got and 50% what they think you got"? Sophia Loren. What is the square root of 65,536? 256. Which major U.S. city is located in Dade County, Florida? Miami. Who was the king of Mycenae who led the Greek forces during the Trojan War? Agamemnon. In the original 1978 Battlestar Galactica TV series, who was the human leader of the Cylons? Count Baltar. What was the name of Alexander the Great's famous horse? Bucephalus. What long, thin French bread is a staple in many bakeries? Baguette. Which Italian playwright wrote the satirical play Accidental Death of an Anarchist? Dario Fo. In Greek mythology, what fruit were the golden apples of the Hesperides most commonly described as? Answer: apples, the golden apples of the Hesperides, often identified with quinces. What is the title of Tom Clancy's first blockbuster novel, published in 1984? The Hunt for Red October. In cultures that consider Sunday the first day of the week, which day is the sixth day? Friday. What is the fear of becoming dependent on others called? Soteriophobia. What was the 1934 to 1935 strategic retreat by Chinese communists led by Mao Zedong to evade the Kuomintang forces? The Long March. Which Canadian city is home to the Calgary Stampede, billed as the world's largest rodeo? Calgary. Which new romantic band scored a 1983 hit with the song True? Spandau Ballet. In Back to the Future, what is the name of Marty McFly's band that auditions for the high school dance? The Pinheads. Which scientific field studies insects? Entomology. Which actor starred in the films Spartacus, The Vikings, and Ulysses? Kirk Douglas. What is the anatomical term for the area at the back of the knee? Popliteal fossa. What kind of fish lies on its side as an adult, with both eyes on the upward-facing side? Flatfish. Which country is known as the world's largest archipelago? Indonesia. What was the first feature film directed by Paul Newman? Rachel. In what year did composer Hector Berlioz marry the actress Harriet Smithson? 1833. Which species of elephant has larger ears? The African elephant or the Asian Indian elephant? African elephant. That's the end of the show. Thanks for playing. See you tomorrow.